As we continue our coverage of the Paris terrorist attack, Senator Rand Paul joins us. He's on the Foreign Relations and Homeland Security Committees. Right now, he is in Orlando for the Sunshine State Summit with a handful of other GOP presidential hopefuls. He joins us now. Senator, do we have you?
Yes, I've got you. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. As we learned just in the past couple of minutes, now about 23 hours since the first shots were fired in Paris, that at least one American died. I'm interested in your thoughts on what a President Paul would do right now.
Well, you know, our thoughts and prayers go out to the victims and to their families. And obviously, we stand in solidarity with the French people, and we stand against barbarism. And I think we do whatever we can and whatever is necessary, frankly, to protect our people and to stop these kind of barbaric acts from happening.
You say whatever we can. What does that mean?
Well, that's what I'm going to try to finish my statement here. The tragedy should remind us that we do have to protect those who would come to see us, those who would immigrate to our country, those who would visit us, those who come here to study. And I've introduced legislation repeatedly in the past to reintroduce a program we used to have that gives more scrutiny to those who come, foreigners who want to come to our country. And I think other countries are going to see and sense the same need for that.
You have called yourself a conservative when it comes to foreign policy. You had quite a dust-up with Marco Rubio in the last debate over what it means to be a conservative on foreign policy. Others would call you an isolationist on foreign policy. Does this change things in some way? Is it time to step up our military action and engagement in the Middle East in light of these kinds of attacks on our allies?
You know, I don't think we get safer if we go further into debt. I agree with Admiral Mullen, who said that the number one threat to our national security is actually our debt. We spend a lot of money on the military, and I am for having a strong national defense. I'm a Reagan conservative. I believe in peace through strength. But we spend more than 10 countries, the next 10 countries combined. We spend more than Russia, plus China, plus 8 more countries. So we spend a considerable amount. It just needs to be spent wisely. Last year in Afghanistan, we spent $43 million on a natural gas station. We spent millions of dollars having bomb-sniffing elephants. We spent about $20 billion on a program that even the military said is a waste. So we have to find and cull out waste. But just because someone wants to spend $1 trillion more, like Marco Rubio, doesn't mean that we necessarily get more safety for it. I think we have to do more with what we have. We have to protect the country, but I don't think going further in debt is the answer.
Whether we go further in debt is one debate, whether we go further into the Middle East in terms of using the resources that we do have, perhaps using them smarter if there's a way to do that. As we looked at what the president has said and done against ISIS, does the U.S. military need to be doing more? You call yourself a Reagan conservative. After the Libyan bombings, they went on. I'm sorry, say that again, sir?
Well, what I would say is we need to look at how ISIS came to be and how chaos and instability came to infect that region. Every time that a secular dictator has been toppled, we've wound up with chaos. So one of the points in the debate the other night was people were commenting that ISIS is now in Libya. But yeah, ISIS is in Libya because when we toppled Gaddafi, we left a chaotic, failed state, and ISIS has filled the vacuum. ISIS is in Syria because we poured arms in, Saudi Arabia poured arms in, and we basically, even our leader said, oh, it's inevitable that we're giving arms to the allies of al-Qaeda. I just don't think it's a good idea to arm our enemies. I don't think it's a good idea to arm ISIS or arm al-Qaeda or al-Nusra or any of these people. But I think we have to think about our foreign policy. But it's not as simplistic as calling names or overly simplifying a description of what someone's foreign policy is.
All right, Senator Paul, we appreciate your thoughts. Thank you, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.